welcome everyone. We're going to play our 8 principles video. We'll just be up here.
The Unitarian Universalist Church of Pensacola, the 8 Principles.
Number 1, the inherent worth and dignity of every person.
Number 2, justice, equity, and compassion in human relation.
Number 3, acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregation.
Number 4, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning.
Number 5, the right of conscience and the use of democratic process within our congregation and in society at large.
Number 6, the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all.
Number 7, respect for the interdependent web of existence,
of which we are all a part.
Number 8, active commitment to dismantle racism and other oppression in ourselves and our institutions.
Good morning. Hello and welcome. How are you? Are we awake? Good? Okay, I'll take it. That's fine. I'm Mary Beth. I'll be your service leader today. My name is Mary Beth. My pronouns are she and her. If this is your first time, we're so happy to have you. We hope that you love it as much as the people who come back all the time do. In case you don't know, I'll tell you, you are welcome here, you belong here, and you're already loved. So hopefully you feel that. We're a lay-led congregation, so we have multiple different speakers, and it changes all the time. This week is especially different. It's our bread communion service. We'll kind of explain more about that later, but in the meantime, be eyeing up what kind of bread you want. So that's a little bit about our church. If you want to know more, there is a church pamphlet that you can get, at the door if you didn't get one. Also, you can go to our website. It has every possible thing you'd need to know about our church and about the UU organization also. So visit that, uupensacola.org. What else? Oh, if you're watching online, thanks. We appreciate you, and we love you just the same. If you could, while I'm thinking about it, let's go ahead and silence our cell phones. We'll have several speakers today just to kind of talk about the bread communion and things, so we want to make sure to stay focused on that, not get distracted. So we do have a few announcements, and I'll go ahead and get into those. I'm going to read the longest one first, okay? The House meetings are over. We have heard from many people about the injustices that trouble our community. The team leaders met on November 4th to bring the stories of problems as reported in our House meetings. We then voted on the most pressing of these problems and selected 3 serious areas that have been reported most often across the congregations. On November 21st, from 6 to 7:30 p.m., we will have an assembly to decide on our path. Will we continue with the current issues, or will we add another one? If you attended a House meeting, your host will have tickets for you for this assembly. If you did not attend a House meeting and would like to be included in the assembly, please contact one of the following. So Penny Fint, raise your hand if you're in here. Oh, she's in the back, yep. Lauren Anzaldo's in the back there. Nancy Hagman is not here today. Barbara Wright is just there. And then Paula Montgomery is just there. Or just see me and I'll point out one of those ladies to you. We make sure that you are included. If you need a ride or are willing to give a ride, please let one of the members, know so that we can, help out with that. You can let Paula know. So this is November 21st from 6 to 7:30. Registration begins at 5:30, and it's at the First Presbyterian Church, which is on 33 East Gregory Street. And this is just Pensacola? Yeah. So if y'all aren't familiar with that, it's period U period S. Okay, so just Pensacola. And if you're not sure what that is, you can Google it or ask one of these ladies. Most of our congregation knows about it. It's a wonderful organization. So I know that was a lot, but main things, November 21st, and see one of those ladies for the details, okay? And that just will help us be a better community, fingers crossed, because Lord knows we need it, right? Okay. Next, today after church, we didn't have anyone sign up, so if you're new, after the service, we have goodies and treats and coffee and water, and it's a kind of a fun social time. And the treats are just out this way around the corner. But we didn't have anybody sign up today for cleanup, so if you're able to and could help with that, that would be great. And we're also going to set up for the Thanksgiving potluck next week. So we're going to set up some tables in here. So if you've got a little bit of muscle or some energy, you can stay in here. We'll pop up those tables, then you can grab something to eat and then stay a little bit longer and help clean up with that. That would be great. Thank you so much. Also, we will have the out-of-box session this afternoon. So after you get a little snacky snack and help set up a table or two, then you can meet in the library. I know, it's a lot going on. It's a busy day, but this is the holiday season, you know. But we'll have the out-of-box session in the library, just there. And if you're new to us, you can see Claire. Raise your cute little hand, and she can tell you about it. But that's a great thing that we've been doing with our community lately. So that is in the library, out-of-box, okay? Our next announcement is the Thanksgiving potluck, which is next week, Sunday the 24th, after the service. So bring your loved ones or not so loved ones, neighbors or strangers, you know, whoever, and a side dish. The rest will be provided. We've got desserts covered. Me and Brett picked up the turkey. She's a 23-pounder. I'm very excited / intimidated. But don't worry, we'll slather it with butter, it'll be fine. So we've got the turkey, the ham, drinks, and desserts, so just bring a side and a friend or whoever, loved ones. And again, that's next Sunday after service. And then my last announcement is our last Fun and Fellowship event of the year, and it's going to be our holiday gift exchange. So that's Sunday, December 15th. Okay, so it's super fun. Pizza and salad, and I'm sure a dessert will be provided. So all you need to do is show up with your bells on, metaphorically or physically, or both, and wrapped present. The kids will have their own party with honor. They'll be doing something. So this will be an adults-only party, so 18 and up. But, you know, we're still, let's keep it. But, you know, it's fine. Just wrap it. And we'll see what happens. But again, so yeah, we'll have a pizza. And we'll have a salad too for those of you maybe vegetarian, gluten-free. We'll make sure that you guys are covered for that. So that's December 15th, our holiday gift exchange. And I think that's all our announcements. Any questions? No, it's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna Audrey, if you'll come up and help me light the chalice lighting. Chalice light, yes. And this is just a great example or a great symbol of the UU community. But today I want to read a little affirmation while we light the chalice. I am only one, but still I am one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something. And because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do the something that I can do. Got it? If you want to reread it, it's in our gray hymnal. It's number 457. That's Edward Everett Hale. Thank you, Audrey. So, I don't know about you, but it has been a crazy month, right? We've had a lot going on. And the holidays are approaching, which is always crazy, /fun, /anxiety-ridden. So I think we need some centering music. Would you mind? We'll take some deep breaths and center ourselves. Thank you. I feel better already. I hope you do too. Audrey, would you come up and share some opening words? And this is going to be an interactional thing, so if you'll turn in the gray hymnal to number 515, 515, and you will say the italicized.
Yeah, the words will be on the screen too? No. Okay, they're just in the hymnal. It is in the back, number 515. We lift up our hearts in thanks. It's a responsive reading. For the sun and the dawn, which we did not create. For food, which we plant but cannot grow. For this gathered community, which welcomes us as we are from wherever we have come. Our free churches, that would keep us human and encourages our quest for beauty, truth, and love. For all things which come to us as gifts of being from sources beyond ourselves. Gifts of life and love and friendship. We lift up our hearts in thanks. And now if you want to, we can do it while we're seated. We're going to join us for our covenant. If you'll join me in saying the covenant for our church. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. And I believe the choir is going to come up now to help us with the opening song, which is in your hymnal, number 323, Break Not the Circle.
If you want to stand, if you're willing and able, you're more than welcome to do so. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, we set aside some time to share a joy or a sorrow. It's really fun, and I think it's also important to share what we're concerned about, what we're happy about, so we can celebrate it or grieve together as a community. So we're going to light a candle for each of the joy and sorrow that you wish to share with us, and you can line up on either side here. I do want to take some time to light the first candle for just as an overall blanket candle for everything that's going on in our nation and in the world. It's a big candle. I realize it has a lot on its shoulders, but definitely want to take a minute to recognize everything that's going on and light a candle for that. So if you do wish to share, just line up here on either side, share your name, and just briefly something that you'd like to share with your church community. Okay. This next up on the agenda is offertory. So for those of you who are new, like I said, it's a lay-led congregation, and we also solely rely on our members and our membership for operations. And so anything that you can give, whether that be time, talent, or treasure, we'll take it gratefully and thankfully. But at this time, if you have treasure to give, we'll pass around a basket. You can give online as well. You can send a check, call, and then I think there is options to give online. If you are interested in that, see me and I'll point you in the right direction. But we'll have the offertory basket around, and then we're going to sing just a song together. You can stay seated, and it's in your gray hymnal. What number is it? 402. It's just a quick little hymn while the basket goes around. I'll point you in. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this. One more time. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. Thank you. Sounds good. Sounded great. Okay, so we have a spread of bread, and I'm going to bring Audrey up here, and she's going to lead us through the service.
Well, this is an easy one. My name's Audrey. My pronouns are she, her, and I've been a member of this congregation for about 12 years now. This is my second time that they asked me to lead the bread communion. For those of you who are newer members of our congregation or just visiting, we have 3 or 4 services that happen annually throughout the year that are communion type services. And so the bread communion is the one that happens in the fall. We have a flour communion in the spring and a water communion also. But this one is one of my favorites. And I like it because, I grew up Catholic and recovering Catholic, and communion is a big part of the Catholic tradition. So it's one of those things that you don't get when you're not that religious, or you're non-denominational or atheist or humanist. There's not really a ceremony for communion. And yet, communion is community. That's the definition of communion. I looked it up in Merriam-Webster for y'all. One of the definitions is a religious service in the Christian tradition at which bread and wine are consecrated and shared. But the other definition is just a sharing or exchanging of intimate thoughts and feelings, especially when the exchange is on a mental or spiritual level. And the sentence they gave as an example is, I need to commune with nature. I think we've all had used the word commune or communion in that sense before. Throughout centuries, bread has played a central role in many religious observances also. For example, the Bible contains more than 100 references to bread. That's New and Old Testament. From ancient religions, they regarded consecrated bread as divine. And in some cultures, people believe that bread can cure illnesses, and they will handle it ritualistically. Breaking bread together symbolizes fellowship, peace, nourishment, both literal and figurative, and celebrates the harvest and the changing of the seasons. And that's just what we'll be doing today in our UU Bread Communion. But before we do that, before everyone comes forward and receives their share of all of these delicious loaves that are up here on the table, I want to introduce our bakers, and these people volunteered their time and their talent, or their treasure. If you're like, I don't bake. They always ask me to bring the wine or the cutlery when I come to a potluck, but I did go to Walmart this morning and buy a vegan, gluten-free loaf so that if someone has dietary restrictions, they could be included in our communion. So that is an option that's up here, and it was purchased with love. But for those who did bake, I asked them to either write a few sentences or say a few words about what they made and why they chose it, or what they brought if they didn't make it, and why they chose that, what that means to them. And so the first loaf was made that I'm going to talk about was made by Jack Comstack, who is always feeding us. And the loaf that's front and center there, that's wrapped up, that is one of the loaves that he made. This is a rustic loaf, and what he writes about that is, this is, my favorite bread is a simple rustic loaf consisting of 4 ingredients: wheat flour, water, salt, and yeast. Saccharomyces cerevisiae. The yeast brings life to the dough and makes bread. This simple bread has historically sustained human life for centuries. Seeing a rustic loaf excites memories of family, friends, and happy times. So thank you, Jack. And then I'm going to invite Mary Beth to come next.
Hello. Welcome to my bread talk. Thank you. So Brett and I, my husband Brett, he's in the sound room there, we started making sourdough bread this summer. It's somewhere up there, and it looks, if it's whatever one that you tried that was your favorite, it's that one. That's not true. I don't know. But we got it from a friend, the starter. We got it from a good friend of ours, and she's an avid baker of sourdough and does it all the time. She made it look so easy, so we were like, sure, why not? So we drove our starter all the way down from Nashville and nurtured it. We were so excited and proud of ourselves. We get to talking about it, making plans, when are we going to do it? And I'm all like, Martha Stewart who, And then I read through the instructions, all 7 pages of, no, it wasn't that many, but it was long. Overwhelmed, but still excited. Homemade sourdough is the best, I think. So we're like, we got this, right? So we fed the starter, and we wait. And it's a dud. It's supposed to be like, bubbly and all that stuff, and it just looked really sad. So we start again, a little let down, but that's okay. We didn't realize, though, all the waiting that was involved, not just because that first one was a dud, but it's just a lot. So 2 days filled with questions, confusions, uncertainty, and we're finally ready to bake. It was a lot of kneading and folding, and it was so sticky. It was just, ugh. So while it was baking, we discussed the whole annoying process and how we seriously debated, would it be worth it? I don't know. We're back and forth well, we've tried it, now we know, kind of a thing. So anyway, we're full of doubt if we were ever gonna do it again. We took it out, let it rest for another hour, having to wait, so many hours of waiting. We finally cut a slice, slather some butter on it, and man, it was so good. We were relieved, of course, that we didn't mess it up, proud and delighted. In the few days to follow, we had many conversations, like where we were, should we try it again? I don't know, should we? But should we, though? Ultimately, we've decided that it's worth it to do it again. So since then, we've made several more loaves, including one for today. We actually made 2, and one of them failed. But this one turned out good. Don't worry. We brought the good one. So we still go back and forth, obviously, on whether or not it's worth the stress and waiting. But it feels good. Nevertheless, it feels good to be able to share this with our loved ones in our community and, stay tuned to see if we do it again next year. But thank you. That's my process.
I look forward to eating the sourdough. We also had Michael Newcomb, who made us a sunflower loaf, and you'll definitely be able to tell which one that is. It's square, and it's got sunflower seeds all over the top of it. And now I'd like to invite Penny to come up and speak about hers.
Morning, everyone. So I brought matzah. Matzah is associated with Passover, which is in the spring, but it's a very important communion that is associated with matzah, and I'm going to share about my story with it. As I'm sharing, memories may bubble up from experiences you've had, and you are welcome to go down those rabbit holes if something I say tickles a thought. I believe that as a congregation, we're strengthened by each of our stories. I came from Eastern European Jewish roots on both my mother's and father's side, and I am shaped by the wonderful tradition of the Passover Seder. My grandmother held Passover Seders in her home for as many years as she was able, and it was a delight to be a young girl and be able to help her in that process. Generations of Jews have celebrated the festival of Passover, also known as the Festival of Unleavened Bread, and it represents a history of 4,000 years. Matzah, this little cracker thing, which is commanded to be made within 18 minutes from start to finish through baking, recalls the haste with which Jews left Egypt, where they had been slaves for 400 years. We tell the story of the Exodus during the Passover Seder, and as if we personally had been liberated. We follow a Haggadah, a book that tells us all the steps to share in this particular gathering, and it really truly is a communion. So a Seder is a ritual with symbolic foods, and it goes through a certain order, and we use that book, and there are other versions of it. My grandma Eva followed this tradition, and I made a list of all the people that I remembered coming, of the uncles, aunts, cousins, friends, and that attended regularly, and I came up with 46 people. And I'm sure I probably forgot a few. So it was a big deal and a yearly thing. And I loved being Grandma's only granddaughter because I got to be a part of it all. Lots of cleaning, washing the china, the wine glasses, washing tablecloths and napkins and ironing them, polishing silver, and particularly I loved shopping with Grandma for the food. My favorite experience was the year after my cousin Marshall complained that his mother would never use canned gefilte fish. In response, my grandmother and her sisters, Aunt Bessie and Aunt Minnie, made gefilte fish from scratch the following year. They chopped pounds of raw fish, added eggs and matzo meal, shaped oval little balls, and boiled them in soup, all the while telling stories and laughing like little girls. I remember this with so much tenderness. Remember when we made the matzo balls too big and we put them in the pot, and as they swelled up, they just marched out of the pot, threw the lid off, and went down onto the stove and across the floor? The following year, Grandma bought canned gefilte fish, but she served it warm, and Cousin Marshall thought it was great, and the sisters exchanged knowing smiles. Year after year, we told the story of God instructing Moses to lead us out of Egypt and eating the ceremonial foods, thereby ingesting history. Matzah made in haste, salt water for our tears, bitter herbs representing our slavery, horoset, nuts and fruits chopped finely to represent the bricks we made for the Pharaoh's monuments. Years later, I prepared seders in my home for friends, and many of my friends were not Jewish, but they enjoyed the hubbub anyhow. One year, there's a part where you wash your hands. I collected rainwater for us to wash our hands. And we've had some Passover seders in this church. From my perspective, rituals can evolve as we do. From the Haggadah of my youth, this message remains. May this Haggadah help turn the hearts of parents to their children and the hearts of children to their parents. May both old and young recapture the traditional spirit of Seder and reaffirm its ancient message that all men and women have the God-given right to be free. That stays with me, and it's why it's so important to me. I just want to invite you to explore your own rituals from growing up or as adults or with your children, and recognize what's important to you, what speaks to you, and what brings joy.
So one of the things I love about communion is learning about our fellow members here at UUCP and getting to do deep sharing like that. It's wonderful. So we're going to invite everyone to come up, but let me explain how it's going to work. We'll have everybody exit their rows to the outside so that you're near the walls, and then you'll come up to the table. Bradley and Mary Beth are going to help us, rip off bite-sized chunks. We're not giving everybody whole slices of every single thing. That would be way too much bread. So we're just gonna, and if you are gluten-free or vegan or you're looking for something specific, just let them know. This is not a sacred ceremony where everyone has to be silent. I think it's really important that we are talking to each other and we are sharing and we are having an exchange. So I am going to read while we're walking up here and doing this. I want to read some blessings from different religious traditions that are said over food, but I also encourage you to not be afraid to say hi to your neighbor. In fact, we didn't do that earlier in the service, so if you want to turn to your neighbor right now, take a moment, say hello, say good morning, introduce yourself if you don't know each other. Okay, this is vegan. This is gluten-free. This is gluten-free. And let them get the plate. Yes. Let them have a plate and then you serve. Okay. All right, y'all, I'm going to invite you guys to go ahead and stand and make your way to the outsides and come up. You'll grab a plate as you come up and then let Mary Beth and Bradley know what it is. If you want one of everything, or if you are vegan or you are gluten-free, they can point out your options there. And while they do that, I'm going to read you a pagan blessing. From forest and stream, from mountain and fields. She just wants you to turn it down. You can play in the background a little. From forest and stream, from mountain and field, from fertile earth's nourishing yields, I now partake of the divine energy. May it lend me health, strength, and love. A Jewish meal prayer. Blessed are you, Lord our God, ruler of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine, who brings forth bread from the earth. A Hindu meal tradition blessing. This ritual is one, the food is one. We who offer the food are one. The fire of hunger is also one. All action is one. We who understand this are one. A Protestant meal blessing. Bless us, O Lord, and these thy gifts, which we are about to receive, through thy bounty, through Christ our Lord. Amen. A Buddhist traditional blessing from Thich Nhat Hanh. The plate is filled with food. I am aware that each morsel is the fruit of much hard work by those who produced it.
Please feel free to sing along. This is our closing hymn. When you're down and troubled and you need some loving care, and nothing is going right, close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I'll be there. You got a friend. If the sky above you grows dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind begins to blow, keep your head together and call my name out loud. Soon you'll hear me knocking at your door. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. Now ain't it good to know that you got a friend when people can be so cold? They'll hurt you and desert you. They'll take your soul if you let them. Oh, but don't you let them. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. You got a friend. You got a friend, and it's good to know you've got a friend. Yeah, you've got a friend.
Thanks, y'all. All right, let's stand and help me say our closing words. If you'll get out this hymnal here, it's a, what is it? 727. Let me flip to it here. A responsive reading. And if you'll read the italicized words. The bread we share. The bread we share this day is sacred. The friendship we share this day is sacred. The laughter we share this day is sacred. The stillness we share this day is sacred. For bread, for friends, for joy and sorrow, for the comfort of quietness, let us ever be grateful and caring. Thank you so much for coming. Go in peace. And you can take your plate if you're going to get snacks afterwards. Yeah, recycle your plates.